Hello everyone, and I hope you're all doing very well. We are slowly working our way through your viewer requested videos, and today are one from Arjan Bedi, MiG-29 engine smoke hiding. So, I was recently listening to a fighter pilot podcast where an Indian ex-MiG-29 pilot was interviewed by the host, an ex-F-18 pilot. They were discussing the weaknesses of the MiG-29 in ACM, and the host brought up the smoky engines of the MiG-29. While the Indian pilot agreed that this is an issue, he also said that they were trained to mitigate this by overspeeding on the way to the merge and then reducing throttles to stop the smoke. After the interview, a second ex-F-18 pilot was on and discussing when he was training with Malaysian MiG-29s, he would rely on the smoke to locate the MiG, and was impressed that the Indians had found a way to avoid this. My question to you is, how effective would this be in DCS? Well, the answer is going to be how realistically the smoke is modelled. What I can tell you is that in DCS, the MiG-29 is very smoky, the Viggen is very smoky, there is a couple of others, and yes... 21... Okay, and yes, you completely rely on that. If I'm ever fighting a MiG-29, it's a small plane, it's well camouflaged usually, same as the Viggen, fairly small plane, usually pretty well camouflaged, I'm always looking for the smoke. So the first thing to say is that the fact that you rely on the smoke in DCS, as in real life, is completely modelled, and I think you'd all agree with that. The next thing is, can we model the way in that what this Indian pilot did to mitigate it? Can we throttle down? So certainly one thing is that if we're an afterburner, then it doesn't smoke. It's the same with the real MiG-29. When it's on afterburner, it doesn't smoke, or very, very little, because the unburnt fuel that you get in lower powers is being burnt off with the afterburner. It's been after combusted. That's not much use in a dogfight. In a dogfight, you can't just keep your burners on all the time because it would be impossible to turn, especially with such a powerful fighter. And this power of the MiG-29 is just stupid power to weight ratio. If you kept your burners on all the time, you would just constantly black out and it would be impossible. So yes, afterburner is great, and we can use that up until the merge. But after that, we need to see if we can mitigate the amount of smoke we produce by going to lower throttles, like much lower than mil power kind of thing. Okay, we're in now. So the first thing we need to really work out is how much smoke we make at different powers. So if we consider the power settings to be afterburner, mil power, half power, and then low power. So 4 power settings we're looking at. So can we please have full afterburner, please?
Here we go.
0 smoke. Now can we have mil power, please, or near to it? Still an afterburner. There we go. Very smoky. Very smoky. Can we now have half power, please? About 80 to 90% of mil power that was. Okay, now can we have idle or, very low throttle? That's a lot better. A lot better. Interesting. Right, so I'm going to pause there. So, mil power and half power, to be honest, both very smoky. Low power is a little bit smoky, but not very much. Afterburner, completely clean burn, as we knew it is in real life. Now we need to see what it looks like. First of all, a BVR, just beyond visual range. Now, because this plane is so smoky, we can actually see it, BVR, we can see it beyond 10 miles. We'll see that massive smoke plume. So I'll see you getting a new jet, and I'm going to get my F-16. We're 25 miles away from each other. There's no way you should be able to see him. And this is why it's such a dangerous thing. And if you could just fly around in mil power, please, first of all, the smokiest setting. And just check your burners aren't on. There's 2 lights in the cockpit. Yep. Oh, I can see you perfectly. Okay, that's him there, you see. 25 miles away. And you should not be able to see him. It's because he creates such an amount of smoke. Annoyingly, you're right on my horizon line. Can you please now go to idle power, or very low power?
Idle.
Yep, it's going to take a while for the smoke to burn off. And you can see he's pretty much disappeared now. You might be able to see just like a dot or something, but much hard to see. And now go full power, please, as an afterburner.
Going up. AB.
Roger, it's just gone into mil, so you can see it's going dark. And then he's now basically invisible because he's an afterburner. So that's showing that in BVR, it makes a massive difference. So that's good. Next, we need to test what the actual Indian pilots were saying, in that we're going to try to merge, first of all, conventionally, roughly mil power, roughly 450 knots, something like that, IAS. And then it's going to use his mil power, and it's going to use his afterburner when he needs to. Obviously, afterburner usually when he's going to be turning or going up, and then back to mil power or half power or whatever when he's going down. And we're going to compare that to the Indian pilot's kind of idea for a merge, coming in probably full power on the afterburner, 600, 700 knots for the merge, over speed. and then coming right off the power, so idle, and then coming back on the power, full power. So the second way will be basically afterburner or nothing, afterburner and nothing. So it's clear as bloody day, which is good. No chance of cow. I can't actually see the aeroplane, but I can see the smoke. So it'd stand out like a sore thumb if I, you know, was just looking around visually or whatever. Okay, and then just go and merge into normal flight. Still smoking, he's into burning out, and he's clean. Okay, RC. So from about 8 miles away or something, go full burner, into merge, and then just shut into idle, yeah? Like the Indian guys said. Start the experiment now, full power. So just ignore his... Okay, yeah, he's now completely invisible. Look, now he's coming in with the Indian style. Okay, I can just see a few pixels moving now. And merge, much more dangerous. A big plume of smoke.
Idle.
Yeah, so there's that big plume of smoke when he changes from full power into idle. And again, as he go into afterburner now, I just want to see if that plume of smoke comes out again. Yeah, so you got a big plume of smoke when you change from kind of idle to afterburner, but otherwise he is as visible, as less visible than an F-15 or something. Do a slight variation on that this time, RC. Go full burner from the start next time, and then idle from about 10 kilometers onwards. So again, you're only full power and idle, but you're coming in on the idle, if you know what I mean. You built up your energy beforehand.
Okay.
Right, so when you're ready...
Okay, I'm at 10 and I'm going to idle.
So a massive plume of smoke as you go to idle, so that's a disadvantage there. And in fact, you're not at mill power, because I know it's just...
I'm idle.
Yeah. It's pretty crap, to be honest. Merge, it's not as bad as full mill, but... Okay, so the best technique is clearly the Indians. That they full power until with merge, and then you've got to come down to idle for the first turn, obviously, because of your overspeed. And the only giveaway is the smoke, which will be behind me at that point. So if I haven't seen the merge, it doesn't really matter anyway. But that is definitely the best way to merge in terms of visibility in MiG-29. So, yeah, myth confirmed, really, I suppose. To know what they're talking about. Okay, thank you for that, and see you later.